Hi, I'm Claire Cooley. This is the Creativity Show. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Bodie. My son, who asked me to work with him, named his Mother Son Productions. I'm so grateful that he did that, and all I'm learning working with him and all I'm gaining through his technical expertise, the technical part of this. And thank you for those who support the arts and creativity, and the grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board, and that to do this series illustrating my life stories. So this graciously of the universe is the piece I'm working on now, that I've been on for a while because there's many things that go on in life in a production studio with a movie making son and blah blah blah. So it's been taking me a while, and it's called Peace Path, a recollection from when I was 7, and I get to work on that today, which I'm very grateful that what gave me peace when I was little and so much more vulnerable in some ways. Putting some lotion on my winter dry hands. And then I wear these fingerless gloves to keep the moisture in, but not onto the paper. So what gave me peace when I was a little girl, and I had a chaotic, unsafe, uncertain family life, and then when the teacher in 2nd grade was cruel to me in front of the class, I decided to, anytime I could get away with it, which turned out to be an enormous amount of the time, I would just go off into nature instead of on the way to school, drawing no attention to myself. I carried my little lunch and went off someplace while no one was looking, into nature. And here's where I disappeared behind some grasses and did a path of pebbles and dandelions, because that's what I had to work with, which is, if there's something I'd really love to share with everyone, is no matter what we have access to, there's something we can use our imaginations, our creativity, imagine a better life, a more peaceful life, a more joyous life, and with whatever we have to work with, pebbles, dandelions, sticks. And I made little mobiles in this tree that I could reach the branches, so I made mobiles out of branches and dried things I found while I wandered around natural places. So I found a way to focus on the peaceful nature that we're all part of, and walk away from the chaos. And it turned out that my family moving so often, and the truancy officers didn't catch up, the school district didn't catch up until I was 14. And so by then I had a habit of very practiced discipline of find something beautiful in nature, no matter how simple it is, and enjoy the journey of creating with what you have, is what I did. So now I'm going to start creating with what I have, which is, I have some more grass to do, but I'm going to do that later because I don't want to lean across it. Speaking of creativity, I am, like always on every live stream, I wear something that is a used piece of clothing. One can tell by the, Bodie called me David Byrne, padded shoulders, which I didn't even notice because I don't care if things are in fashion. These are done with my stencils, with these permanent golden acrylic colors that wash and iron. I'm careful, cold water, no soap, a little bit of heat from a radiator or just let them dry in the sun, a soft iron, and I usually don't iron over the painted parts, but it's very stable. I didn't iron this before the show, excuse me. But I love getting dressed up for these live streams because it's fun. And creativity is play, it's exploration. So letting ourselves do that, especially in times like these where we're all shaken in our own way, but we're all connected and shaken right now. What's going on, it's tragic.
I like that you have one of the flowers growing out of the pocket. You got to show that side of it.
Oh, this? Oh,
It's
okay.
like you turn. I'm sorry to interrupt this
No,
poignant moment, but
That's perfectly.
it's like you turn the pocket into a pot of flowers.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about, expressing our own imagination. There's no rules. The only thing I say to myself is don't hurt anybody, including yourself, and don't waste anything, and don't hurt the environment. So be safe and don't waste. And other than that, there are no rules. We get to play. So let's play. While
We have the time lapse when you're ready.
Thank you for reminding me. Would you do that?
Hi, everybody. Hello.
That's Bodhi. If you haven't met him, there he is. And he's going to put on the time lapse when I'm working on this, not on the live stream or even on the live stream, recording it because I got another grant to show a painting from start to finish and maybe show all the ones. This is number 6 in this series. I'm going to get to 12 before I decide whether I go further or not, or whether that's done enough, illustrating my life story. So here's this one coming into being while I get ready to continue it.
Meg Litz.
Nice. Hi, Meg.
Hello, Meg.
Love these virtual visits with you. Happy in my heart.
She said, "Hi, Bodhi. Hello." And then connecting to nature is so grounding, and your art also connects. Nice.
Thank you. High compliments, and I appreciate it. I really do. Well, we cannot survive without nature. And the more nature thrives, the more we can thrive. So all my life, nature is my sanctuary. It's what I want to portray, and we are part of nature. But humans can get confused and arrogant and think technology is going to solve everything, and might, weapons, money. No, they don't solve things. They create more challenges. Creative resourcefulness, using what we have, appreciating what we have, and not wasting, that solves things. Being kind to everyone, even those we disagree with, disagreeing respectfully, peaceful protest, people having equal rights, due process of law, democracy. So speak up for what's important. Don't let bullies have control. It's fear that tries to control. It's love that supports. Let us all support the peace within, the peace we all share, the peace we all come from. It occurred to me that just a couple minutes ago that the reason creating, whether it's with pebbles and dandelions as a 7-year-old, or now 73 and still enjoying, now I'm painting the pebbles and dandelions in the tree that I hung the mobiles in, still enjoying the peace and balance of nature and my connection to it, and still wanting to share that. That when we're in the creative process, whether we're writing, dancing, conversation, imagining things, drawing, arranging an environment, painting on clothes, making jewelry, whatever it is, we're connected to, my belief is, the creative force in the universe. And that connection place, that I like to say it this way, there are the healing arts and there are the arts that heal. And so I do it because it's healing and joyous. So there you go. Now, while I get into this, Bo, could you be ready to show something?
Sure.
So Bodhi, I love to help him. He loves to help me. Wow, what a wonderful thing. And it turns out to be rather rare, especially movie making. I've heard of brothers and I've heard of fathers and family, but a son and a mother shouldn't be unusual. Everybody has a mother, whether we're graced to get to be with them or want to be with them, but it's rare. And so I love to show his completely different creativity that I love supporting, and in every way I can, which means not paying for it, but listening and asking questions and speaking up about things that aren't clear or I believe could be different or stronger, or consider this or consider that, but not taking over. That's his art form. This is mine. And it's a beautiful experience to support someone in being themselves. My mother did that for me. You have your own way, dear. You just work on it till it's done and then you stop. What a beautiful thing. So I hope to pass that same sentiment on to my son. So let's show something you've done that you want to share.
Absolutely. So, I'm going to mute you, Mom, while I'm talking. Otherwise, it echoes. So, if you want to talk, just let me know and I'll turn your mic back on. What I'm going to do is put your art big on the screen and us two small. So Meg said, "Hi, thank you for sharing your art and your heart with us and for inviting me to your Facebook Lives. Your partnership is so dynamic and such a gift." That is very, very nice of you, Meg. Thank you. So, you can hold on to that in your memory, Mom, and say and respond when your mic's back on. Let me share the screen. Let me do this. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So right now, I'm gonna talk about, we just put out a casting call, which is really, really cool, for episode 3 of our episodic series. Okay, and it is the episode 3. Let me make sure my microphone is on. It is, okay, I can hear myself. So, we are making an anthology series, which means every episode is its own self-contained story. You
can think of them as individual short films, but every short film is within the same story world. So that's a lot like Black Mirror. And episode 3, the casting call is out now. And it is a found footage film. Okay? And so we're doing something very unique in the casting call, which is instead of having people just stand in front of their backdrop and, do their audition to the camera, we are inviting people to make their own miniature found footage film. There are some specific requirements and there's some guidelines to give you some inspiration to follow, but we're hoping that this is really fun and a creative outlet for people, and we get to see people's imagination come through this audition, because we're not just casting an actor. This is the lead role in a found footage film, and if you're familiar with movies like The Blair Witch Project or Cloverfield or Paranormal Activity, the idea of a found footage film is it's like you just found a videotape and you put it in and you watch it, and you're discovering what this person documented on purpose or maybe inadvertently. And so the idea here with this short film is the main character is kind of a conspiracy theorist, and they are setting out to uncover a government secret hidden out in the woods. And this journey of investigation has an unexpected turn, and they start to transform into something else. And they're kind of losing themselves to the monster within, quote unquote. And so we're asking people to make a 2-minute maximum found footage film that captures this character transformation mentally, physically, emotionally. And so they're actually holding the camera, they're in front of the camera, they get to decide when they're pointing it around at the environment. And we go into great detail in our explanation in the instructions. And that is on my Patreon, patreon.com/Bodhi the Movie Maker. Meg said, "So cool, casting call, you're doing it. Found footage film, love it, so innovative." Thank you, I really appreciate it. Yeah, we want each short film to be different from the rest, while fitting into this cohesive story world. So each episode is, its own unique expression and genre twist. So episode 1 was entirely 3D animated, and it was from the POV of the main character's eyes. So, it's a first-person perspective animated film. And then episode 2 is a live-action buddy movie wrapped in a thriller. And now episode 3 is going to be its own totally unique found footage, and we're kind of keeping some of what we're working on secret. So it's found footage with a major twist, and it's safe to say I've never seen a found footage movie like this. So really excited to kind of give you more details as we go. But if you're interested in auditioning, there's no experience required. We've worked with first-time and new actors on all of our films, because sometimes the right person for the role doesn't necessarily have theater or filmmaking acting experience. If you can bring the role to life, we want you to be a part of it. Another thing that's really cool about this film is the lead character, it's a totally open audition. So there's no specific demographic when it comes to age, gender, ethnicity. it's open to everybody. We do have a script for the film, but we're going to, incorporate the person who ends up being cast and rewrite around them. And since it's such a uniquely multifaceted creative role when you are in a found footage film, because you're holding the camera, so it's like you're the camera person and the actor all at once. And so we really want to reach the widest range of potential actors as possible. And so yeah, the audition is on my Patreon. You got to sign up. It's free to sign up and then fill out the form. Okay, how about I'll turn it back over to you, Mom, after I read Meg's comment. I realize found footage isn't your creation, but in your hands and the casts, I am confident it will exceed the quality of previous ones. Oh, shucks. Thank you so much, Meg. That's really nice. I certainly hope so.
Back to you.
Okay. Well, I love it. I love watching your imagination come out of start in a dream, which is how this Northport series started, for you and me asking questions about this scary creature that you had this dream about, and the story unfolding. And I feel like the characters are friends now, and I care about them, and I have my favorites that I connect the most to, and ones that are most challenging for me and all that. So it's wonderful to watch it and be part of helping it. My art is usually a one person does it. Movie making is usually lots of people, sometimes thousands, and huge amounts of money, whereas I can, some pigment, a brush, a pencil, piece of paper. So kind of we're at polar opposite ends of the creative inspiration. You've always wanted to make movies ever since you were a little boy, and fascinated by them. So it's wonderful to see it happening. And it's also wonderful for me because my first expression that I can remember was dance, and then I, playing with clay and arranging things in nature, and writing and in words, and drawing came later and later, and then painting later. And now, with a couple books out there and many that might come out that have been written, just not refined and packaged. And the flute, as you call it, not real. I don't play the same thing twice. I don't do tunes and melodies and stuff. It's like listening to my own breath play with the air. That's a good way of putting it. Never said that before. Listening to my own breath play with the air. I like that. That's my flute. So all my art forms are self-taught, but it naturally flowed into home decor, wardrobe. Even the way I do my hair, unique to me. It's easy. And functional, and it stays out of the way when I'm painting. And if I want to get fancy, I just take the stick out, and there we go. And Bodhi says it looks like rope, not hair, but I can fluff it out, but that's all right. We don't need to see all that. What I'm saying is creativity flows in every direction anytime we let it. Play is how we let it. Don't be serious and precious. Enjoy the exploration. That's how to be more creative. Enjoy the process. I did sumi brushstroke first, never saved a single thing I did. And then when the birds left, I missed them and I drew pen and ink, very delicate, very precise lines. I have that skill because I did the sumi brushstroke. So we will grow our skills if we do it. And back to the wrap up of all that I've been saying is movie making incorporates all of it. Set design, wardrobe, jewelry, hair, makeup, visual art, of course, the story, the writing, the script writing, the refining it, the camera angles, camera lens choices, lighting. It's the choreography of how the movie moves and the actors. The music, which often is not consciously noticed, but absolutely essential for great movie making. So it's all the art forms in one. And so I think it's just really beautiful that my son asked me to work with him when we followed the cranes migrating across the country and videoed in our RV that we were in looking for our new home for a year. We interviewed aviculturists and environmentalists and the guy that flew the ultralight and all kinds of interesting people. And Bodhi said, we work so well together. We should work together. And here we are. Nearly a decade later, how many videos have we made together? 1,000, maybe. And his completely different skill set and perspective than mine, we really enhance each other. I would even say ground and challenge and inspire each other. And that's the way it should be. That collaborative creation. Get a bunch of good people together. You can make something greater than any one or two people could make. So this attitude of create for the fun of it, heal through expressing your emotions through creativity, a safe and respectful way to express any and all emotions and stimulate our immune system and heal and come to understand and let go of any guilt, pain, resentment, and be free in the moment to play. All that exploring our creativity teaches us. And share that to increase peace in the world, because it's what the world needs more than anything else, is peace. With that, we can solve all the environmental issues we've created by not having a wide enough vision, by not making decisions with our consciousness of not polluting the planet, letting money govern us, lead, be in control. Who owns the most weapons?
I'll read some comments.
Sure. I'm talking now.
Yeah.
When I sit, no.
Sure. Did you want to make art? I didn't mean to stop you from making art.
I had stopped and I was just talking.
All right. So I'll catch you up on Megs. I love how your creative artistic endeavors have connected and you to both nature and yourself.
Thank you. And in that, because we're all connected to nature and ourselves, we're all connected to each other. So even in the most solitude times of creating, whether I was writing my memoir, that was a lot of alone time in that. While I'm doing that, I feel connected to everyone. Yeah.
Okay. And then she
Thank
wrote, yeah. Enjoy the exploration, quote. So she liked that saying. I also really liked her breath playing with the air or something. That was flute. Yeah, he was
listening to my flute is not really music. It's me listening to my breath playing with the air.
Yeah, that's good.
That's what it really is.
Why not? That's what birds do. It sounds like that's what birds do.
And they're also talking to the birds that can hear them, and me too.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Yeah.
And she liked mother-son journey. Yep.
Thank you, Meg, for listening, for hearing us, for appreciating and giving us that feedback. We live in a world that's very confused at times, where it's like socially acceptable to criticize people, put people down, but just complimenting people is almost becoming a lost art. Appreciating one another is like so competitive, and it feels really good to be appreciated and to voice our appreciation of others. So, Meg, I want to say to you that you're not only really validating, but I can tell you really listen, and that is such a high honor. And then you feed back things that you hear with your discerning mind and open heart. Thank you. Yeah, I said that. Bodhi's looking at me because he can tell when his mother's on the verge of tears, which happens on a daily basis because my heart is, I like to just be free to tears of joy.
Yep. Meg said, it's easy in responding or reacting to the trauma and tragedy in the world. We can lose connection to ourselves, thus the importance of engaging in art and creativity.
True, very true. And I actually feel grateful that my upbringing was so chaotic and often dangerous that I had to find the peace within, the peace that surrounds us to even survive. And I wish I knew how to help others do the same that feel lost in the chaos. It's really, crucial that we find the peace that is within all of us, that connects to everything and everyone, and try to come from that, especially in times like these where we're really being tested by the confusion, the fear-based control, the aggression is trying to put out the light that they don't want shining on them.
Right.
So.
Yeah, well, it can be so easy to criticize just doing art right now in this world that feels like it's in so much turmoil. It's like, I personally think it's very helpful to make art and to share it and to give hope and to focus on things that make us hopeful.
It's essential. Thank you for saying that if we cannot create peace in ourselves, we can't share it. We can't give that to anyone else or the world. And I don't think anybody thinks we need more chaos, more anger, more fear, division. But there are people that, are pissed off, and everyone wants to believe they're right, including me. And I want to believe it's right for me to share the peace that I find meditating on nature, our home, and how precious it is, and ways I can be part of taking care of it instead of depleting it, how I can increase peace in myself and those around me and others. And that gives me, they call it the helper's high. So the more chaos there is, the more aggression, anger, fear, the more important it is that we do something with our time as often as possible, as long as possible, without forsaking our duties and responsibilities, that increases our peace, because that's the stuff where we make good decisions and we move things in a positive direction, from peace, not from anger, chaos, fear, all that. So let's use our time to do something that helps. And I do art for me first, but I do it to share, because that is the greatest fulfillment. Alrighty?
Fantastic.
I feel like we got to a nice place, and thank you for listening. Thank you for being there and sharing with a friend, and love to hear from you. Thank you, Bodhi.
Yep. Thanks for making beautiful art. Thanks, Meg. Those were great comments and questions.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See you Wednesday at noon, or anytime after. You can see them anytime. And I'd love to hear from you. Thank you. Bye-bye.